Ba 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 ba. Can't you see the dock's scored a docking again?
Oh, shut the fuck up, man.
Dock scored.
My doc scored my pleasure, my
Scored.
pain.
Baby.
Doc scored the docs scored the dogs. Doc scored and docs scored. Docs scored. Docs scored.
My
score become docs and my
dogs
silver score can be ducks. Docs go.
Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Howdy.
What?
I don't know, just mixing it up.
It's 253 episodes, and now you choose to mix it up?
Well, you know, gotta keep it fresh. Every 203. 203.
Whoa, this is what happens. You break down. Don't go off the system. We have a track. All of these been pre-scripted.
Yeah, we have a tried and true system that has never failed us.
Not even once. Prove it. Prove it.
Never failed us.
Impossible to fail.
Yeah.
We're too big to fail.
We're unsinkable.
The unsinkable Doc and Richard.
Yeah.
That's what they call us.
Doc and Brown.
Does that mean I'm brown?
No.
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 Each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.
Yeah, I guess.
This is really hitting you, eh? The Guy Gardner thing?
I know. I mean, that's not this episode. That's next week. But still,
Is it?
I'm upset. I'm angry.
I mean, you've never tried so hard to actively work against our fans before.
What are you talking about? I do it every year.
Go from
Guy Gardner has been in that tournament for a couple of years now, and I've managed to like steer and connive people into like not voting for him.
Do you cheat
This
every
year? No, I don't cheat. I just use my
multiple accounts that you have access to?
No, I just use my feminine wiles.
And access all the other Twitter accounts that you have?
No, I just send
use
a bunch
those for
of
votes?
DMs.
That's
And
not
I
a thing you did?
send a bunch of foot pictures to people, and in exchange, they vote for someone who's not Guy Gardner.
Whose feet did you send photos of?
Don't worry about it. By the way, don't move for a second.
Well, you keep saying that every week.
Yeah. Well, it's. Oh no!
What?
I was gonna say it's hard for me to finish if you move.
Oh no! Oh no! It's a bad dog.
That was very bad. I'm sorry.
Oh my god!
I spent too much time with you
Yeah.
and the cretins over on the docs court.
I mean, they're fully working against this podcast now. They're actively getting a
Guy Gardner has won the Fanagar tournament of pandering.
They're actively
But
trying
I'm a man of honor, and I will do the episode.
I mean, those are two separate things, but
Yes. Coincidentally, I am both a man of honor and will do the episode.
one of those is suspect.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the episode.
Yeah, welcome to the Producer Richard podcast. I heard that's where we're heading now, too.
I mean, they don't even know what they're asking for at this point. They think it's fun to shit on Dr. DC, but let's see them get 40 minutes into a talk about like how the driver didn't install for the new mixer.
That's
fucking thrilling.
Subscribe to our Patreon.
Every double from now on is just the Producer Richard podcast.
I mean, there's been one of those.
We have done one, yeah.
Yeah. We started with something else and it ended up being that.
Yeah.
Speaking of
proud of that one.
our incredible residents, we have a review.
This might make up for it.
Okay, let's find out. It's a 5-star review.
No, it won't make up for it.
It's from Twitter, number 118 from Big Bang Comics. The whole universe has been a bunch of comics.
And a nerd walked in and he looked for the book. Superman and Batman and Batman.
I hope this
and they went to Ireland and shot that Big Bang.
I hope this review is bazinga. I did a Big Bang.
That was, yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did a Big Bang.
Oh,
I did a Big Bang.
I don't like this. Read the review.
I did a Big Bang.
I don't like this.
Read.
It's worse when you use my real name.
Read. I did a Big Bang. You're gonna have to check.
Wait, are you using that as like you took a shit?
I don't know.
What am I checking if it's just that you actually banged? What am I checking?
Check it. Check it. I did a Big Bang.
I hate all of this. I hate everything that's happening right now.
I'll fix it. Daddy, I did a Big Bang.
Better.
Oopsies. Let's see what Big Bang has to say.
All right, let's see.
Shout out to Dr. DC on a hilarious, outrageous, and definitely not for kids podcast that does some awesome deep dives into all kinds of DC stuff. 5 stars. Definitely give it a listen if you're looking for a new comics podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daddy.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ooh, you made a Big Bang, and I liked it.
Oh, my review is stuck.
There it is. I was just about to say it. You're my step Twitter account.
Oh, my step review.
I really want to review. I'd do anything for it.
Jesus. Heroes don't do that.
Yeah, gods do.
Oh, yeah. Keep that hashtag going. Hashtag bats eat cats.
You really are proud of that, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah.
It was a good little moment for me.
Yeah. Didn't really get any traction, but...
I never did.
You gotta stop wearing socks.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, traction. That took a lot of time.
Last week was 7 episodes.
Yeah. We're really
or
running
2 weeks ago was
speaking
7
of losing
episodes.
traction.
And now we're just like, oh, Jesus. Oh, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I don't fucking time today.
It's still Fanagar somehow.
Don't make me
so exhausted.
Oh God, don't make me do it. Don't make me record it. Don't do it. I don't want to. I don't want to.
I don't like this anymore.
Daddy, I don't want.
No. Hate this.
Don't make me, Dad.
Hate this. Absolutely don't like that.
I've never done this before.
Jesus. Good Lord.
What?
Do you remember when we used to just like be about comics?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
That's why people
it kind of feels like it's not a memory, like it's something someone told me.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh sure, but I don't actually remember.
Like, yeah, remember your podcast? You have this podcast about comics. You're like, when did that happen? Okay, well, we're gonna talk about Guy Gardner, so it's fine.
We will next week. Let's pump the brakes a fucking little bit here.
Yeah, pump it, Dad.
About Guy Gardner. We're going to pump and dump an episode of Guy Gardner next week.
Oh, my God.
This week.
Yeah, we're talking about there's a crisis.
In time. This is the episode that was picked by our Golden Age patrons for this month.
Finally, you made a good decision.
Oh, I never give them too much choice.
Still better than it's all points to Thriller.
It didn't. It could have been anything.
Just happened that
we waited for the results before you picked a book.
Oh, yeah.
So,
it was all up to you.
You guys have free will. Find out that months ago we released the anti-life equation on the Patreon.
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking about depression enough. Yeah.
There's just that one post that it's like fear plus loneliness divided by.
That's how we get people to listen.
And and it's how we keep them subscribed.
Exactly.
Once you're here, we just subject you to the anti-life equation, and then we get you up your tier.
Keep them subdued, keep them down, keep them listening.
That's right. But
Today,
those lovely Golden Age patrons decided from a list of different event comics, that we should talk about 0 Hour, aka the Crisis in Time.
oh my God.
Oh
In time.
my God. It's definitely come up on the show before, but do you have any passing knowledge of 0 Hour or what it is?
No, I believe I came up to you, asked what it was today, and you told me. So no, I have
Well, I just thought you were asking what the episode was.
No, I meant what is it?
Oh, I see.
And that's what I was like. You were like, it's a crisis event, but I'm like, it wasn't called Crisis, and you're like, well, it was.
Yeah, the sort of subtitle is Crisis in Time.
Yes.
And the rough idea was that they were like, instead of multiple Earths, this one will involve different timelines, and the past and the future are all getting wiped out, and they have to save the timeline, and they were going to use it to kind of realign and course correct a few things that had still somehow gone wrong after Crisis.
So I'm assuming this is heavy with the Flash.
It's actually very light on the Flash.
Really? With all the time stuff, you usually think.
The Flash is there. There's some Flash stuff, but it's relatively light on the Flash. It's heavy on the Green Lantern. Because the ultimate bad guy of this is Parallax. Hal Jordan as Parallax is the ultimate.
We talked about that last week.
Villain of this story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the conduit for all of the time travel then?
Metron shows up of the New Gods because he's like, all of time is being erased. So there's him. We get this character Wave Rider, who is like
Silver Surfer.
Kind of, but through time.
Oh.
He's got this rainbow hair and this gold kind of suit and stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
And he can move through time, and he has chronal energy and stuff like that. So we got Wave Rider, we got Metron, the Time Trapper, famous Legion of Superheroes villain is in there. Mm-hmm. All sorts of these kind of timey-wimey characters and adventures and alternate timelines and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
In this story. It's 5 issues. And here's a little fun thing, because it's a countdown to 0 Hour. So they number the issues 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Ooh.
And actually, design-wise, you would enjoy this. Each subsequent issue has less things on the page. It's like everything is existence is fading out. So 0 Hour number 0, the final issue, is just like a white cover.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah. See, that's like a design thing you would like.
I think I'm going to give comic books a try.
Hey, you're one of us now.
That's strong.
You have an app, you're scanning comics, you're reading floppies, you're about to go to the comic shop and get a subscription to a book. Like, you're one of us now. You fucking Dorcas.
Oh, jeez, no.
Was that my puffer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I just want to be cool like you.
Maybe one day.
It's a lot to live up to. We got a lot of questions for this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Why don't we jump into it? Which means we're going to Facebook.
Going to the face and the book. Going to the Facebook.
First question comes from the most interesting resident.
SMA.
I hate when you know, because now you're getting cocky. You're using fucking short forms.
We're close.
Are you?
He and I.
Well, not as close as we are. I call him SNMA.
Stephen Marion Almagro.
Stephen Marion Almagrone.
Wasn't that the power we gave him in the Resident Fight Night? Is that he could grow, but he couldn't shrink back down again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a terrible power.
It's ultimately a curse.
Yeah.
It's useful like 3 times, and then it's
well, that's like that thing from Invincible. Every time that girl uses her like monster power, she gets younger.
Girl. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Gift and a curse.
Exactly. They really stole that idea from us.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the hell? Stephen Marion Almagro asks, please talk about all the Team Titans members that were erased in the aftermath of 0 Hour. If you can bring back one of those guys into current continuity, who would it be?
So the Teen Titans were like
Team.
Team.
Yeah.
Were these like, they were initially like a team of like
Titans?
baddies that were sort of like the shadow of the Teen Titans. They were and
an Injustice sort of situation, or like a Crime Syndicate kind of situation.
Sort of. I mean, some of them were like alternate versions of them. Like there was one called Deathwing, who I think was like a Trigon corrupted or a Raven corrupted Nightwing.
Okay,
that was a thing. But then there were also like other ones that had different, like Mirage, Kilowatt.
Yeah.
Not Kilowog.
Mm-hmm.
There were a few other ones too. So Teen Titans was initially like that. But then in 0 Hour, so for most of 0 Hour, you think that the bad guy is this character called Extant.
Gonna give it to you.
Yeah, we've definitely done that joke before.
Yeah. Oh, that's every time I get it.
And Extant has all this chronal energy. You learn that Extant is actually Monarch, who is actually Hank Hall, formerly Hawk.
Oh, wow.
So he has all the powers of Hawk and Dove. He has the power of Monarch from like that Armageddon 2001 series.
Mm-hmm.
And then he consumes the chronal energy of Wave Rider. So he's this extremely powerful character called Extant. And at one point, to do his bidding and to keep his plan going, which is to capitalize on the destruction of the timeline, which is happening, he summons like hundreds of Team Titan members from alternate timelines and different futures and things like that. And he summons them to fight the heroes at different points in time to hold them off while he waits for the entire universe to be destroyed.
Wow.
And then when they defeat him, it disrupts all of that like chronal energy, and all of the Team Titans people disappear into their like severed timelines.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So they're all there and then they're fucking gone.
Wow.
Yeah. Who would I bring back? I don't know that I've ever really had a hankering for bringing any of them back.
Not like overly great characters, or
I just don't find them all that interesting. It's definitely like an era. Like I think the original, they're like a Wolfman creation and stuff like that. Like they're part of the fabric of that like new Teen Titans era. They're in there. They're part of it. But they're not like that memorable to me. I don't think I ever really grew to like fully care about them or anything. And frankly, the one that I found most interesting, I think there's I guess Kilowatt is kind of interesting. He's from a future where like Donna Troy's son, who goes by like Lord Chaos, has like
really
doing all this stuff. I kind of like Kilowatt, but like I don't really like love him. I like Deathwing, but Deathwing's not he's not really like part of the 0 Hour crew. That's more like Mirage and Kilowatt and. Well, there's one called Red Wing, who I think is supposed to be like a version of that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm really hankering for the Team Titans back.
No.
I think that's a suitable deletion from the timeline.
Yeah. That was if 0 Hour did nothing else.
Yeah, that's fine.
Got rid of these guys.
I guess bring back Donna Troy's son just so that like the continuity police have to deal with the fact that for him to exist as Lord Chaos, you have to acknowledge the Donna Troy Terry Long marriage, where she just married that like normal guy.
I do like that.
Yeah, maybe that's kind of funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, we talked about him a little bit already, but let's go to the next question from Joe L, who asks, "What happened to poor Hank Hall?"
Right. So Hank Hall, originally Hawk of Hawk and Dove.
Yeah.
So those powers he gets from the Lords of Chaos, and gives him strength and speed and durability and all that kind of stuff. But they're sort of magically imbued powers. And then there was this event called Armageddon 2001 where you have this sort of shadowy figure called Monarch, and he's taken over the future.
And Bruce Willis is going to die so that he So he's like, go back to your wife, like marry my daughter.
Oh, yeah. He rips the patch off. He goes, you give this to Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
You fucking get it to him.
They're like, Billy Bob Thornton, it's an actor. What are you doing?
And he's like, oh, God. Oh, my God.
Oh,
I'm
geez.
peering through the veil.
Tell Kevin Smith I said, fuck you.
And in that Armageddon event, you're like, who is Monarch? Who is Monarch?
I don't want to close my eyes.
And the thing was that it was going to be Captain Atom.
Yeah.
Like everything about his powers and what was happening and that they were like, it's Captain Atom. It's Captain Atom. But people guessed it. And then they were like,
no.
They were like, fuck them. So they changed it to make him Hank Hall. How? Doesn't really matter. Not super clear.
Do you think it was a mistake?
I mean, it's messy.
Like just because the people figured it out?
I'm of the opinion that if your story is good enough, it doesn't matter if people know even the big spoilers. I mean, that still sucks. I'm not saying the spoilers don't suck, but if your story is good enough, then people will be disappointed that something was spoiled, but they'll watch it and they'll go like, wow, but now I saw how we got there. And so I think what it really exposed in Armageddon 2001 is that it's just not that great. It's not that interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then Monarch was Hank Hall. So he had the powers of Hawk and Dove and he had the power of Monarch, this sort of quantum energy power. And then in this, you meet Extant and you're like, who the fuck is Extant? And then at one point, Extant takes his mask off, but he looks like Wave Rider. And Wave Rider's like, what? And then he's like, I've got your power. And then later in the book, you meet an earlier version of Extant that is Hank Hall when he takes the chronal energy from Wave Rider.
Jesus.
So you meet him as Wave Rider and Monarch and Hawk. And then you meet him earlier when he doesn't have the Wave Rider powers yet. You see him get the Wave Rider powers, merge with that future self you saw earlier.
Jesus.
Yeah, and this was the story that was going to clean things up.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I kind of like that sort of time loopy stuff where you meet someone first, but later in their timeline.
Tenet.
Yeah. Or, it's the same sort of principle that they apply to Reverse Flash stories and stuff like that, right? I kind of dig.
Or what
stuff.
it is, River Song and Doctor Who.
Yeah.
It's every time they meet, it's either farther away, like she knows him less and he knows her more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I kind of like that thing. I think that's sort of interesting, but at any rate, what happens to him is he just gets driven more and more crazy, I would say, by all of this power.
Yeah.
And he's basically just out for power's sake. He doesn't really have a particular plan or he doesn't have an elevated goal. And that comes up later. Parallax bitch slaps him and is like, you're going to stop getting in my goddamn way. I've tolerated you long enough. And it's the first time you see Extant kind of go oh shit.
Wow.
Because he's whooping ass the whole time. Until Parallax shows up and you're like, well, no, he's the real power here.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy. But yeah, that's roughly what happened to poor Hank Hall is a series of
unfortunate events,
a series of misadventures, and then just slowly accumulating more power sets.
Wow.
Yeah. Extant is his final form, his Pokemon evolution.
He's a shiny Extant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hawk just evolved into Monarch. Just evolved
that actually
into
works.
Extant.
Yes.
Essentially, if you want to think of it that way.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave Facebook and head on over to Twitter.
Twitter.
First question comes from our favorite religious representative.
Chris Chan.
That's right. I like that everyone's been calling him that now.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Someone on Twitter didn't like an opinion that he had and called him Satan-ick.
Yeah.
Satanic.
Not Lucifer or something.
It should have been Lucifer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, I enjoy
the playing with the...
Yeah, I enjoy all you rats turning on each other.
That's right. Yes, just climb over each other like lemmings to get to the top.
Is that what lemmings do?
They run off cliffs.
They run off cliffs. Isn't it Isn't it the thing where you put a bunch of rats in a hole?
And they drown
and
each other?
Eat each other?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It'd be fun if The Sims did that. If you put a bunch of Sims in a hole, they just started to eat each other.
I don't know if I would want to watch that.
I don't know either.
Yeah, stop moving so I can finish
definitely-
getting off.
I definitely didn't mod the game.
Oh no. Yeah, it's the Cannibal Sims. That's what I'm looking for. You're in a weird shit, man.
Silence of the Sims.
Ukini wada. Yeah, it was worth it. I'm glad we got there. Chris Chan asks, why hasn't Wave Rider made more appearances since this event? 290s to be rebooted?
Wave Rider is kind of a fun character. I like the idea of this kind of, he's sort of got a Silver Surfer sort of vibe, except he's not.
And Marvel and DC don't take stuff from each other.
He's not like the herald of anything, but that he is literally like, you see him and he's like riding time.
Yeah.
And it's all rainbow colors and he's got this like gold, almost metal looking skin and shit. And you're like, that's fucking dope. I love that. That's super cool. He's a neat character, but I think like inherently the thing with him, I mean, just in 0 Hour alone, there's Wave Rider. Then you see Extant get the power of Wave Rider and looks like Wave Rider.
Yeah.
So there's two of them. And then you also meet Matthew Ryder, who is one of the Linear Men, one of the Time Guardians, who's just a human, but he exists in this place called the Vanishing Point outside of space and time.
Is he connected to Wave Rider in any way?
He is, in that he is Wave Rider, but he hasn't become him yet.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, you don't give him a name like Rider and have him not be.
Yeah. So there's Wave Rider and Matthew Ryder on the same team together, but Matthew Ryder hasn't become Wave Rider yet.
So it's a pre and post version of himself.
Kind of.
Ooh, that's weird.
And then there's also Extant, who takes all of his chronal energy and becomes a Wave Rider.
Yeah.
So there's like three of them.
And Hank Hall?
Well, Hank Hall is Extant.
Oh, okay. But so they're not together at any point.
No, and it's not like Wave Rider's in his head or something. He just like absorbs all his energy and then sort of looks like Wave Rider. He becomes the Wave Rider kind of thing.
Okay.
But then I think where I was going with this though is I think the thing with like the Linear Men and Wave Rider in that is, unlike Booster Gold, who can sort of misadventure through time and then learns the value of preserving the timeline sort of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like Wave Rider is like too powerful. Like he has all of that chronal energy at his disposal. And it's only like, even in 0 Hour, he's like, I could beat him. And then he's like, oh, fuck, I can't. So if he's that confident, it means he's literally never come up against a thing he can't beat before. So it's like, so then what are his stories going to be? He can only, like, I guess he only ever shows up when time is in trouble and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it was... Oh, it's either Convergence, the Booster Gold tie-ins for Convergence, or it's the Booster Gold tie-ins for Future's End. I don't remember which. I want to say it's Convergence. And in that one, the New 52 Booster Gold, I think, dies and becomes Wave Rider or something. And it's in one of those stories, or oh god, I'm blending a bunch of stories together. So I'm sorry. I'm there's going to be a bunch of Booster Gold things that I'm not going to remember which series it came from. A Timeline's Booster Gold at one point becomes a Wave Rider. Also, there's a reveal at some point along the line. Maybe it's in 52 or 52 pickup in that like Booster Gold series or something, that Skeets is like made of Wave Rider's skin or something like that. Like Skeets, like Booster Gold's robot sidekick, is like made of the skin of Wave Rider.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's something kind of fucked up that way. There's a few of these things. Wave Rider does come back. Not a lot. He doesn't get used a lot. Yeah. My personal opinion is that he's too powerful.
Really?
That's not to say I don't want more Wave Rider content, but I think maybe that, like, I think creators maybe stayed away because of that. But I would be totally down for Wave Rider. I love his design. I love someone that's like surfing time. I dig like the idea of the Linear Men that are mostly just these regular people, including Rip Hunter, who for some reason in 0 Hour is designed like exactly like Cable. Like he's got the shoulder pads and like a metal eye and stuff like that.
Wow.
Like Rip Hunter in this looks like Cable.
Yeah.
But I do think there's room for Wave Rider stories, but I would hazard a guess that people stay away from him and he doesn't show up a bunch.
Cool.
That was perfect.
It's just because it stopped recording for a second, but as I was looking at it, so it's fine.
Did it get all the great stuff I was saying?
Yeah, besides you, I think, ending the sentence, but yes.
Oh. So it's going to go like, blah, 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 cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's exactly what is going to happen. No, it's just because it choked on.
And
notes
that
for some
is the
reason.
high quality producing that won us the Canadian Podcast Award.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
Best documentary.
Yeah. Ones we were not even nominated for.
People's Choice.
Mm-hmm.
Lord and Savior Award.
Yeah. People's choice, but they didn't have a choice.
The Lord and Savior Award for being the boss of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
We won.
Didn't I win that
I mean, you would want to.
for being the boss of you?
This really has shifted the power dynamic. I might have been Poulter or someone. I told Poulter I was working for you, and the first thing he asked is like, has that weirdly shifted the dynamic of your friendship?
Was it that different before?
I mean, yeah, because you didn't have actually any actual authority over me.
I mean, that's true, but I don't use that at work.
Sure, yeah.
Right?
You don't. Daddy.
That I do. That's the one bit that I ask for.
Yeah. It's weird when you answer the office phone and you're like, hello, Daddy speaking.
God, I wish I had that kind of confidence. To just like casually do that, and I'd so get canceled. But good lord, it'd be
That
great.
donut business in town could get away with it.
Oh yeah,
There's a business called Daddy's Donuts. They could answer the phone and go, Daddy speaking.
I mean, I fucking love that.
Yeah.
God, we got to find a way. I own a meat business. I could figure out a way to make that work.
Yeah. Sausage too.
Yeah. God, how I showed that to Matt yesterday. I got nothing back from him, and I'm like, come on, like this is genius. Top men made this.
Oh, God.
God damn it. All right. Let's move from Twitter on over to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them.
First question comes from not the fake. Not the duplicate, not the doppelganger,
Right.
but the real, the official Josh Gill.
Oh, my God.
That'd be really funny if we started another account, the official
The
Josh
official
Gill.
Josh Gill. And then the unofficial, the unauthorized Josh Gill.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get the official, and then I'm gonna get a blue check mark for it.
And then I'm going to start the rogue unauthorized Josh Gill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Where all the real dirt comes out. Stuff he wouldn't sign off on.
The photos he didn't know were taken.
Yeah.
He knew. You could see the coy look in his eye. Josh Gill asks, I do like that they're also now the residents are also sexually harassing Josh as well.
Yeah.
That's been a new turn. I really enjoy. I mean, I guess they always have been because they did make a Josh Gill Discord channel. But
That's true. He's one of the channels in the Thirst Traps category on our Discord.
love it. Makes me very happy. I'm proud of you all. Josh Gill asks, okay, Doc, okay. Okay, Doc, okay. I have a question. Why does Hal have to be such a gigantic dick?
So let's talk about Hal's Parallax.
Okay, Doc.
Because this is before the retcon that Parallax is like the fear entity that has possessed him.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, in the comics, what was happening is Coast City got destroyed by Mongol and Cyborg Superman.
Sure.
Hal, grief-stricken, obviously. That's his home city, his family, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're gone. And he tries to recreate Coast City with his ring. And the Guardians go, you can't use your ring selfishly like that. This is not the use of the ring. And he says, like, haven't I done fucking everything you've ever asked me to? I want one thing. And they're like, no. And he's like, you motherfuckers. He's like, I'm coming for you. And he does. And he flies through space. And everyone they send to stop him gets like disarmed or dismembered or fully killed.
Jesus.
In the case of Kilowog, he like incinerates Kilowog with
What?
the
No,
ring.
not Kilowog.
The Guardians release Sinestro from the central power battery to
God.
fight him, and Hal snaps his neck.
Jesus.
Hal takes all of the rings. He takes all of the power of the central power battery.
Oh my God.
The core is done, and he takes that energy and he calls himself Parallax, and he calls himself that. It's a real word. It's like parallax vision, right? It's about having a different perspective on the same thing.
Yeah.
And Hal has decided, or he hasn't decided, he now has a different perspective where he's like, I tried to play it by the book. It doesn't work. Now it's like, if I have to cross a line, I'm going to cross a line. I've got people's best interests at heart, whether they like it or not.
Oh God.
And so his whole...
Yeah, he was wearing a hoodie.
What?
It's a cop. He's a cop.
I mean, he always was.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, though.
But I think this is worse. This is
worse
like,
than a cop?
this is now like a cop who is like, my usual method of
Detaining people based on their race. And
my usual method of brutality
Yeah.
is no longer effective for me. So I'm going to turn in my badge, the last vestige of the idea that someone has authority over me, and I'm just going to go out and do it on my own
Yeah.
with all of the guns in the precinct.
Like Batman.
Oh God. Oh, no. So Hal in this, I mean, obviously Hal acknowledges even that he has done terrible things.
Yeah.
I mean, he fully killed Kilowog, Sinestro, a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
But he is saying, like, I realized I was thinking too small. I could remake Coast City with the ring, and it wouldn't do shit because I haven't fixed the world. This sort of thing, the destruction of Coast City, that sort of thing can keep happening until I fix it all the way down to the last, like, atoms of this universe.
Oh, my God.
So he talks about his plan. He talks about how the beginning and end of time are the same moment. And so he said all he had to do was shorten the loop in between. So he takes all of this vast power that he describes slipping into the time stream. You sort of get the idea that he's been absorbing chronal energy. He's absorbing energies left over from the first crisis. So not only does he have all of the power of his will and all the power of the green central power battery, he now has all this chronal energy, this sort of crisis energy, all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And he's using it to erase time from both ends. So like starting at the beginning and end of time, this wave of like disintegration is moving backwards and forwards through time.
Jeez. Towards
the 20th century in the middle somehow. It's like, that's not where the middle would be, but whatever. It's for the story.
Yeah, there's more time ahead of us.
No, it's right now and on Earth.
Yeah.
The most important.
In America.
The most important time and place. Actually, it is. A lot of it takes place in Gotham.
Yeah, big surprise.
And so once he does that, then he's going to remake the universe, and he keeps telling people, I'm going to make it so you haven't experienced pain or whatever. Coast City's going to be back. People we've lost will be back. Batgirl.
Actually, no, you can't. You still can't make Coast City.
Batgirl, you won't have been shot. All this kind of stuff. Like, he's basically promising utopia, but he'll be the one in charge kind of thing.
Wow, you know what that sounds a lot like?
You?
Supernatural.
Oh, sorry. What?
Look, my rule is the best rule.
Yeah. Call me Parallax.
I've got a new perspective. Yeah, I'm going to put that on my fucking door now.
Yeah, you took down the Guardians of Marketing and took their power and became Parallax.
I mean, locally, maybe.
Yes. No, it is kind of like Supernatural. You're right. Yeah, absolutely. So at any rate, that's the big plan that Hal has. That's why he's being a dick.
Yeah.
Extant is kind of working for him, but is also getting in the way. Extant thinks he has his own, like, he can take advantage of the situation for his own ends, which are kind of unclear. You don't really know, like, what that end would be.
Oh, really?
Other than the idea of, like, the same idea as Parallax, which is, like, build something that you are in charge of. But Extant isn't nearly as powerful as Parallax is.
This feels very clunky already.
Do you know what? I actually don't think it reads that clunky, but yeah, certainly to describe it, maybe it's just me doing a poor job of it, but
definitely possible.
I actually don't think the series, I like 0 Hour as a series. I go back and read this one a decent amount.
Wow.
It's up there for me. I really like Infinite Crisis. I love that one. I like Blackest Night, obviously.
Yeah.
But 0 Hour's up there. I read it a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, that's why Hal is being a dick. He has taken that grief and fear and everything from Coast City being destroyed and extrapolated it to needing to restart the entire universe.
You know what he should have done? Taken that Coast City, put it inside of a block of ice.
Oh my God.
Iceman Customs.
The Iceman Customs.
That's right.
The Ice Lantern Corps.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm into that. Yeah. That's right. The next question comes from the Iceman Customs, which asks, 0 Hour rules. Which characters in the Dr. DC podcast verse get erased and which ones survive? P.S. I think getting 0 houred makes more sense for Colin's demise than the Hindenburg. I don't understand why you would think that.
I mean,
that was also just a mistake. Like, it was an accident that happened.
I mean, I don't see why it can't be both. Why that terrible accident couldn't also be part of a time crisis. A feature of 0 Hour, part of the reason that the characters start realizing that something hinky is going on is that, like, buildings, cities, people from alternate timelines start occupying the same space. So Batman and Robin encounter Batgirl, and they're like, even the Joker is like, wait a minute. Like, and and Batman and Robin are like, you're okay? And she's like, I never got hurt. and they're like,
but she knows that she
no. She's like, you're trying to be like, I got injured. I'm
fine.
I've always been fine.
Yeah.
And they're like, ooh, good. There's that, there's more than one Robin out there.
Wow.
If you read some of like the tie-in stuff, there's some Robin stuff that happens there. Like full cities from other eras and other timelines are like materializing. They have to at one point open a giant boom tube to stop this giant future city from just landing on New York.
Oh my God.
And shit like that. So part of the way they know is that the timeline is crashing together. I think it makes perfect sense if that was what was happening. Because normally, I think taking air travel, we would probably take a plane.
Yeah.
I think it is an anomaly at all to have booked a ticket for a Zeppelin.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I don't think these things are mutually exclusive. I think there's a lot of ample evidence to suggest that we were in the middle of a time crisis
Oh my God.
during that fateful night.
That wonderful, faithful night.
Yeah. Faithful?
Yeah.
I prayed so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I believe in God now.
Oh yeah. Now that he does what I tell him to.
Oh, God. That's a very like Snyder Luthor kind of thing.
Oh no. Am I the bad guy? That's the second time I've said that this
Sorry,
week.
are you only just now figuring out you're the bad guy? Contrary to what the doc squad says, I think it's canon that you are the bad guy.
No, you seem to be the bad guy now, I'm pretty sure.
How dare you?
I mean, you are Canada's top podcaster.
Yeah, so how could I be the bad guy?
Yeah.
I'm the one everyone looks up to.
I think that's what thing a bad guy says.
They're building a statue of me. As high as a mountain.
Yeah, on the backs of their bodies.
They're going to carve a mountain. That's what I mean.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You
thought Mount Rushmore was bad?
Meet Mount Dockmore.
Yeah.
What other characters get erased and which ones survive?
Oh, I mean, there's certainly people that have been erased. If only I could remember their names.
I think that the extant in this universe is Super Todd.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Keeps accumulating other characters' powers.
Yeah.
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 I think there's a real big moment in 0 Hour where that alternate timeline Batgirl starts fading from existence, and she like dove in front of this energy and that to save the Green Arrow's holding her, and he's like, why?
Yeah.
It's kind of the big sort of dramatic moment. And I think that character, I think that's Evil Alfred's turn. I think that's his redemption arc.
Who dies?
I think Evil Alfred dies.
Oh, and who's holding him?
Oh, Shrek Morrison. No.
uh, uh, I'm going once more into that sweet darkness.
I'm going into that alley behind the theater in the sky.
You think you could go into that alley?
I'm here to pick him up from life.
My God, the Reaper comes as his mom.
Yeah. Oh, quite cruel fate. It's me, Shrek Morrison.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I'm thinking.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm thinking that's what's happening.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's Shrek.
Yeah, that answers that question enough, I think.
Okay.
Next question from Earl Kababbit, who asks, can Parallax really defeat Superman?
Yeah, so when Parallax finally is revealed as the big bad of this event, which happens at the end of 0 hour number 1, which is the 4th of 5, because they're counting down. And then there's a big kind of, they're fighting Parallax. He's saying, like, why won't you just let me do this? Like, I'm doing this for all of you, you ingrates, like, kind of thing. And they're fighting, and it's either in 0 hour number 1 or in number 0, and he's fighting Superman, and he says, I have the power to kill you, Superman. Like, they're going, like, they're trading blows.
Yeah.
He's hitting Superman with energy and stuff like that, but he has, like, the utmost confidence. And part of that is that he has all of
the rings and
all of the power of the entire green light of will.
Yeah.
Plus, like I said, all this chronal energy, this kind of crisis energy and stuff like that. So to him, he's untouchable. He's already like unwritten and is in the process of rewriting the universe. So he's like, I could obviously take Superman.
Yeah.
And I think that is true.
Yeah, that sounds right.
You know, he deliberately leaves like the team that gets assembled to stop him.
Yeah.
You know, includes some big ones like, you know, Green Arrow, Superman. It also includes Wave Rider. It includes this Batgirl. It includes Alpha Centurion and Damage and a few other characters.
Yeah.
They're all there. And he allows them to stay in this sort of bubble outside of space and time with him to watch him recreate the universe and stuff like that. So he's saying like, I'm doing this for you, you motherfuckers. He's like, see, he wants someone to tell him that he's right.
Mm-hmm.
Guy Gardner is there.
Your favorite?
Guy Gardner has a bit of an arc in this because at first he's like, if we're going through and doing all this time shit, we can go back in time and get the good Hal Jordan, stop him from going bad, keep the core around. Like he has a sort of angle on that. And then when he realizes that Hal is the ultimate bad guy, he's like, well, fuck. But yes, I would say definitively in this moment with that power, a power that they even describe in the book as draining from him the more he does. So as he's making this new universe and fighting all of them, he's becoming more and more vulnerable until the point where at one point there's this kind of face off between him and Ollie. Because like Oliver's like, why the fuck am I here? Like, this is a time thing.
Yeah, I'm an Arrow guy.
But they're like, you had a connection with him. He's trying to talk to Hal, and Hal's like not having it. And there's this cool set of panels where Hal is like Ollie, and Ollie's like Hal, and he's got the bow drawn. And then Kyle Rayner comes out of nowhere, kind of like headlocks, or not headlock. What am I talking about? He, kind of headlocks Parallax, and he's like, get him now. And Ollie shoots him with an arrow to the chest, and it takes him out. And because he's expended so much of that energy he had brought up. So in that moment when he's fighting Superman and he has all that power, absolutely, if he wanted to, could totally kill Superman, could totally take him down.
Yeah.
As that power drains, then we start getting into the like, is even the power of the Green Lantern Corps enough? You know?
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes from the Nerd Fonts, who asks, so this fixed all those Hawk continuity problems, right? Right?
Okay.
Moving on.
So I just want to make sure I don't overlap with any kind of future question here. Yeah, okay. So, Hawkman. Hawkman, Golden Age Hawkman, Carter Hall, and Hawkgirl, Shaira, they reincarnate. That's the ancient Egyptians.
We're not doing the weird alien thing, right? Yeah.
Reincarnate through time. Silver Age. We've got a new Silver Age Flash, Barry Allen. We got a new Silver Age Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. Why don't we get a new Silver Age Hawkman and Hawkgirl? So then we get Katar and Shaira Hall Thal from
the alien ones.
From Thanagar.
Yeah.
They're aliens. So it's more sci-fi kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, they're on separate Earths. There's the Earth 2 ones and the Earth 1 ones. And then after Crisis, they both are meant to exist. We're supposed to have the Golden Age Hawks as part of the JSA and that generation of heroes. And we're supposed to have the Silver Age ones with the Justice League. But for some reason, that has never really fully made sense to me or whatever. They kind of fucked up how they set some Hawk books so that things that were meant to happen at a certain time happened at the wrong time. And it meant that the Hawks didn't make sense anymore. Part of a thing that did happen that I only half remember is at one point, Katar Hall, the Thanagarian, shows up and he's like, this is my first time on Earth. And then people kind of look around and like in the real world and they go like, what was the last 4 years of stories? And they go, oh, fuck. And they're like, they're kind of like looking around and they couldn't fix it. Couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
They had fucked up the timeline. They had fucked up the interaction between the Golden and Silver Age ones. They had fucked that all up. And in 0 Hour, they were like, we can fix this. And so there's a scene in 0 Hour where you see Hawkman beating the shit out of Vandal Savage. And at one point, Vandal Savage is like, what the fuck is happening to you? And you look and you see all these versions of Hawkman.
Oh.
Kind of like the thing that I think it's in Crisis that you see with Superman or in Infinite Crisis. Or it's become a very like reused sort of iconic DC setup as you see the versions of characters all side by side.
Yeah.
And Vandal Savage is like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah. All of them say, yeah, of course I'm fucking okay. Like, but they all get merged. So Hawk Gods, the reincarnating ones, the aliens, the like kind of mixed with Norse gods fighting Ragnarok, all of the things that happened to fucking Hawkman and Hawkgirl are merged into one Hawk.
Yeah.
And they're like, that'll do it. And then it didn't, because then they just fucked it up again. But the intent of 0 Hour was to just say, whatever has happened, now they are all one. But what they didn't, the piece that they were missing that we have now was the like, how do we reconcile the stories that have already happened? Like, it's one thing to say, moving forward, now we only have one Hawk.
Yeah.
But the thing they hadn't ironed out was like, but how do we fix this going backwards?
Yeah.
And now like that Venditti series, like very pointedly was like, they reincarnate across space and time.
Yeah.
And multiple reincarnations might exist at the same time because they're reincarnating forwards and backwards through time. So there's going to be overlap.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, great. Now it literally doesn't matter when things happened or what order things were.
Yeah.
You know, like that was the piece that I think that was missing. Because this event is 95. It's like mid 90s.
Wow.
By the time the Morrison JLA series kicks off, which is early 2000s or possibly like very end of the 90s. I think it's early 2000s, but whatever, somewhere around there. So within only like 5 years, DC is like, you cannot use Hawkman. It doesn't make sense.
Wow.
They're like, he's like, I want to put Hawkman on the team. Are like, I want to put Hawkman on the team. And DC goes, no, we're not even going to acknowledge that character. And that's where Zoriel came from for that series. He's like, I'll make an angel.
I'll make a Hawk-ish character.
Yeah. They were like, you know, like, you won't let me do the reincarnating one. I'm introducing fucking Heaven.
Yeah.
But that's just a span of like 5 years.
Wow.
From 0 Hour. The thing that was meant to fix it had so definitively in the fallout of it put the nail in the coffin that they were like, no more Hawkman for anyone.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. It means we are leaving Instagram and heading on over to Reddit.
Where everyone's nice and no one's ever mean.
First question comes from I Am Wallpaper, who asks, what are some examples of this story trying to fix the continuity problems caused by Crisis on Infinite Earths, but actually making things a lot more confusing instead?
I mean, the Hawk thing is the big one.
Was that something specifically from like Crisis on Infinite Earths that they tried to fix and then?
Well, no, because Crisis should have... It came out of Crisis and we had one universe and one timeline. If you wanted two Hawks in there, it's very easy. Like we have the human ones that reincarnate and they are on the JSA. And then we have the alien ones that show up. Even that's getting a little dicey, but then it's like they just kept fucking up when stories took place. Like there were some real editorial failures happening. That would just like even fucking that idea. That already slightly confusing idea got fucked. And so then 0 Hour was like, well, we'll fix it. But it didn't really fix anything. It was just added another weird wrinkle, which is now like, now you're this merged version, but like, what does that mean? What does it mean to be a merged version? Well, are you a Hawk god? What is the fucking thing now, right? So that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might be mistaken, but I think 0 Hour was also supposed to fix the Wonder Woman issue, which was that I think the continuity was that Wonder Woman, to make the pre-Crisis Earth 2 stories. I'm going to back up a sec here. After Crisis happened and there was one timeline, it wasn't like fully starting over like the New 52 where they were like, this is a new thing. They were just trying to streamline it. So the idea was that the Golden Age adventures or the adventures on Earth 2 happened, but they happened in the 40s.
Okay.
And then the Silver Age adventures and the Bronze Age adventures happened, but they happened in like the 80s. Right? Mm-hmm. So then you had these two generations, but all of the stories that happened in some way still counted.
Yeah.
So they weren't saying like all of that is garbage. Here are the new stories. They were saying, here's how you organize them. But what that means is that a bunch of the JSA stories have Wonder Woman. So then the Crisis thing, what kind of became Wonder Woman was part of that generation. And they were kind of subbed in Black Canary as like the lead female for those early Justice League stories that pre-Crisis had involved Wonder Woman. But it didn't always work because that didn't line up. Like, it's one thing to say like just sub them out for Black Canary, but then when you read it, you go like, that actually doesn't make sense anymore. It broke the story. And so I'm pretty sure 0 Hour was also meant to fix that. Meant to realign kind of like the when and who was on the team and was part of these adventures and stuff like that. I might be slightly mistaken there, but I'm pretty sure that was another big one, was the Wonder Woman Black Canary juggling act that happened post-Crisis.
But like also, like Batman and Superman were around that whole time too, right?
I mean, yes, although a lot of Justice Society stories didn't include them. Although I do have some stories from the Silver Age where that Superman was always older. And I think what they basically did for Superman and Batman was just take them out of those stories. But for some reason they were like, Wonder Woman should be there.
So weird. Because I'm like, well, that doesn't work. I
mean, if anything, they should have just made Black Canary a full JSA kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, they should have gone the other way. But I think that was the other big one. There was a weird kind of continuity juggle of like, was it Wonder Woman? Was it Black Canary? Who's on the Justice League? Kind of thing.
I'd love to see somebody try to actually map out this timeline.
Like visually?
Well, yeah, like just like
Christ.
Like actually like create a timeline and be like, how long did this all happen?
I mean, people have done
because like
timelines of specific characters, but it'd be interesting to take like, let's say your top 50 most important characters. So
Yeah.
you get your JSAers, your JLAers, and stuff like that, and just see a visual representation of where and when they are in relation to each other.
'Cause it's like-
over time in publishing.
It's like Batman, like 500 years old. Like it's just like, like what?
Yeah. I mean, but these are things that, like, when they were first making comics, they didn't give a shit about because they were like, these are rags.
Yeah.
Like, and then it was like, let's just serialize it silly.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, fuck, is this our 50th anniversary? Should we do Crisis?
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, we're just going to have to keep dealing with this. And now modern comics, DC, Marvel, a bunch of them are just like constantly in this, like, I mean, even TV, The Simpsons, stuff like that is just like,
they grew up in the 90s now.
you're just constantly moving the goalposts. And someone is always going to point out, but like in season 3, Homer clearly grew up in the 70s or like whatever the fuck. And it's like, yeah, you're right. But also, like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But
these kids are also still 7 years old.
But this is the thing with the serialized storytelling is like now it's that's just part of it now. And I think when this was happening, when the first Crisis happened, that was the first time anyone was like, we're going to address it.
Yeah.
And then after that, they were like, fuck, we kind of we
shit.
kind of missed a couple of pieces. And then every piece that came after that was trying to patch like new little leaks in the dam, and they were like, stick a finger in there, stick a finger in there, like trying to keep the whole thing together.
Yeah.
Because it was new. Yeah. I think now we have a much better, like, the sort of push that's happening now in not just DC, but just in general is just like, it all happened somewhere at some point, and sometimes they know about it. Yeah. And you just kind of like roll with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot healthier, because otherwise you're going to like, you're going to be like Charlie Day with the string trying to figure out, like,
you can't,
in which continuity, which people know what and what has happened. And
it's too much. It's impossible.
It's not fun anymore.
No.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave Reddit and head on over to the Doc Scored. Doc Scored. You did Doc Scored.
Doc Scored, will I slide? Separate my dog.
Oh my god.
I scored. I don't believe it's done.
Just like a doc scored under the scored. Have we done that one?
I think we've done that one. That's why I didn't go to smooth. Yeah.
Because I thought you were going there for a second, and then
let's see. I probably have a different one I could do here.
Baby's doc scored's gonna score.
We've definitely done that one.
Yeah.
I think we also have done Broadway. We've done a little bit of
If you should step back from that doc scored, friend.
Oh yeah. Oh. Do docs. Do docs. Do docs.
Yeah.
Man, the fucking jumper.
I know.
That's a song I don't think about very much.
I'm surprised.
That's not how I would do it. I'm afraid of heights. Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, yeah, but what a way.
There are so much easier and less painful ways to kill yourself.
Like
and ways that
blowing your brain
guarantee that you die and not just break every bone in your body on impact.
Fair.
Listen, I know what I'm doing.
If I'm going to die, it's going to be through eating something.
Oh, yeah.
Go out the way I came in.
I mean, I guess.
He died doing what he loved.
I mean, there
it is.
That's what I want in the obituary.
Yeah, that's on the tombstone. Yeah.
He was 47 of 53 hot dogs into a competition.
He knew what he was doing. After 50, we all knew what he was doing. Everyone else was at 30.
He signed his will in ketchup.
Yeah. While he was eating the hot dogs and winning. All right, first question comes from...
I eat a lot because I'm a big guy, but I still can't like power eat. You know, like, but when I was younger, like bottomless pit teenager kind of thing, I distinctly remember being like 13 or 14 years old, and the like day camp I worked at the end of every like session, they did a big barbecue day, and they cooked too much, and me and a bunch of the other like counselors or whatever, we had a hot dog eating competition. I ate 14.
Oh my!
I mean, they're just
God.
the shitty little hot dogs. They weren't like
Oh
giant
my
foot long
God.
big sausages, right? But
With the buns?
hot dog, bun, condiments.
Oh my God.
I ate 14.
Over how much time?
Like an hour?
Oh my God.
Yeah. I think about that now and I'm like, I eat a lot, but
Yeah.
I couldn't. I would pass out. Like my body can't take that.
Even your dad, who's like a bigger guy, probably couldn't do that.
No, God no.
Like that's monstrous.
Yeah.
The only time I ever got
But back then, I was 13. My metabolism could handle anything. I could just drink like honey from the jar, and
Yeah.
it would be like, "You're fine."
Yeah. The only time I've ever done anything like that was on my 23rd birthday. I had 23 gin and tonics.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I can we all know definitively I
Yes.
can't do that now.
That's too many. I do remember around that age. I was maybe 21 or 22. We would always go to. Do you remember Krabby Joe's?
Oh my God, yeah.
On Fridays, Krabby Joe's had like their like fake fake martini
Oh.
like night. They were cheap, and you like the apple teen, like that kind of shit. So me and a bunch of the guys went, and I ordered 3, and I said, if you see one empty, bring a new one. And I think I had like 18 or 19 before I passed out,
There was like a
and it was like that's too many.
there was a college bar that had $5 pitchers. I remember that.
Oh Christ!
Yeah. Like they were actively trying to kill kids.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, they didn't like children.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
At
any rate,
First
we're
question.
adults now. We can't handle that anymore.
No, we're only 2 hot dog guys now.
Yeah, one on either side.
One in each hole.
Jesus Christ.
First question comes from my good old buddy Bruno.
Yep,
we're tight now.
Yeah,
Team producer
I
Richard.
just don't have
Hashtag team producer.
I don't have
Richard.
a drop for this.
Brew don't.
In English, he would be Browno,
Bruno.
like Brun.
Yeah, Bruno.
Yeah. Yeah, in English, he's Browno.
You got him. You really hit him.
Fucking nailed him.
Wow.
It only took me.
The
fucking
king is
weeks.
back.
Yeah, yeah, and I've never felt better.
Bruno asks.
I'm 7 hot dogs in.
Oh no. Halfway there, baby.
Oh, God.
Bruno asks, if back then they would have given you the job to fix Hawkman's continuity, what would you have proposed? Bonus question for Richard. You are now revamped and get a fresh new heroic or villainous number 0, but you need to have a tragic event in your past to motivate you. What is the tragic event? And it can't involve your uncle. Well, why even ask the question?
You're going to have to get creative. You're going to have to come up with a different family member who could wrong you.
No, I think I can figure it out. Gets dark back then.
Oh, God.
Answer the first question.
I actually want you to answer this. I feel like I spent a lot of my breath on Hawkman.
Yeah. I mean,
If they came to you and they were like, we got these couple of different versions. Also, sometimes he's fighting Ragnarok. And also, once we made him a god, what do we do?
I mean,
Let's imagine that you don't already know what has been done to fix it.
because that
What do you
is the
think? What do you
way to
think you
fix
would have
it.
come up with? Though?
I mean, that is the way to fix it. I feel like I don't know if I would have come up with anything that different from that because,
Yeah.
like, the way to fix it is saying that, like, oh, they're all multiple versions of them through different parts of the timeline. Like, the only other option is, like, you go multiversal with it, and it's saying that they're, like, different versions of them, and there was some sort of other entity we don't know about
Yeah.
that has been, like, moving them around. But, like...
Or you go like the is it Secret Invasion? Is that the Marvel one with the Skrulls?
Oh, you go Skrulls, yeah.
You do it that thing and be like, oh, a bunch of them were fucking Durlans.
Yeah.
Or like
You're a Durlan.
you kind of write it off that way. They're
Yeah.
like all the ones that don't fit.
not them.
Those were Durlans.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I kind of think I don't know that I would have actually come up with the idea of the overlapping reincarnation thing.
I think I would
Because I think
have.
even in my head before that one, I was like, they must come in order.
No,
Like I think that would have been, yeah.
I have faith in myself that I would have come up with that.
I'm realistic and realize I wouldn't have.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I think I would have been like, I have a very lazy idea that I think technically works. What if they were all Derlins? and then just do that.
Okay, so what is my...
So you get a revamped number 0 issue. What's your new origin? What's your tragic backstory? What leads you to this fresh hell?
So it's still supposed to... It still comes back here?
Yeah, but we're just kind of tweaking your timeline. We still need to keep most of your stories intact, but we're just slightly adjusting your timeline here.
Interesting. So, I mean, I try to think of moments where... like there was big like forks in the road kind of situations,
Sure.
right? One is, I mean, when I was like 8, we moved from Hamilton, Ontario to Windsor, Ontario.
Right.
That was a big one. I didn't really have any control over that because I was 8 years old, though.
No, they don't let you weigh in on that?
Yeah, no, unfortunately not. I was not really part of that conversation. Another one was my mother, my older brother had already moved out, and I was like 14, and my mother was moving to the States to be with her new husband or boyfriend at the time, who was American, and my little brother. And they were like, "Oh, we're gonna move to the States?" And I was like, "I don't want to go to the States." And they're like, "Well, then you don't live with us anymore, I guess."
You were 14?
I was 14.
Jesus Christ.
So I had to find a place to live, and yeah.
Did that really happen?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta stop learning things.
I was homeless for a little bit. It was fun.
I did know that.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized that was it.
Yeah, that was that.
Oh, good Lord.
I
hate that so much.
So a dark past is that I go to the States.
You're right. Do you know there was a moment where I almost became American?
Really?
Yeah, like my dad's company was about to relocate like his full division to Florida.
Oh God!
We almost moved down to like.
I mean, not oh God, lovely Miss Long.
We almost
I'm sure Florida's a great
like
place.
Orlando or something.
Ooh,
like
Disney
that area, somewhere around there. No, it wasn't Florida. It was Atlanta. That's what it was.
Atlanta.
It was
Yeah.
Georgia. And so my folks.
Maybe you would have ended up in the. You could have been in a Marvel movie.
I stayed with my aunt and uncle for a little bit because my folks went down to like scope out houses and they hated it, obviously. And they were like, I don't like that all of like every third store is a gun store. It's a gated community and all of the businesses have bars on the windows. It's like, this doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
And they came back up. My dad basically was like, we can't move there. And so he was like, I guess you're going to have to fire me. And then they were like, you can stay and just work remote. It worked out, but like there was a little brief moment there where there was the possibility that I would have become a Atlantean. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Could have been in Marvel movies.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's what it would have happened.
Oh God, the fucking Southern barbecue would have killed you.
Yeah. I probably would have grown up. I would have been a mess. You'd see me on Queer Eye, they'd be like, this guy does not have his shit together. I wouldn't have met my wife.
Yeah,
I would just be like, ugh.
But there's a land of opportunity in Atlanta.
Is it?
I mean, right now it is. Huge stuff's going on there. It's become like the new Hollywood.
Well, I know that there's a lot of film production and stuff there, but I thought a lot of that was getting disrupted by the voter law thing.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
So I would have moved to the States, and more importantly, I would have moved to Detroit.
Oh.
Yeah. Got one shot, one opportunity.
8 decibels.
Yeah. And I mean, God, Detroit, that was a fucking nightmare at the time. So yeah, I don't know. I probably would have like gotten a fixie bite and opened up a fucking brewery or something. Like, I don't know if I would end up back here, but if I was going to, it would have been just like I've still got dual citizenship, and this place sucks. So I want to get as far away from the city as possible. Until I still ended up in the UK.
Or you'd start like underground podcasting. You'd enter all those podcast duels.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Back to the studio again. This whole pod cities.
One shot, one opportunity.
Actually, never mind. We'll take that again. Second shot, second opportunity.
Yeah, third shot. 253rd opportunity. Still mom spaghetti.
And it's no movie. This mixer's got the wrong driver.
Yeah. It actually was the place that she moved was 9 Mile. So,
oh fuck,
yeah, not far.
Oh jeez, Louise.
Yeah. So yeah, that would have there's my turning point and the motivation to fucking get the fuck out of there and get here. So
fair enough.
Yeah, that's how it happened. And now you learned something just as dark in a different way than the uncle thing.
Oh, good lord.
So next question. From Butt Fart Butt. Hey, we're having fun.
God, I sure hope.
Who touched you, Richard?
Yeah, this question's going to be like, when I was 6.
Yeah. Can you relay out your pedophilia story?
Jesus.
Before 0 Hour, had there ever been a DC character of Hal's status to switch from hero to villain?
We've talked about him.
Yeah.
Hank.
Yeah.
Hank Hall.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a big stretch to say he's of Hal's status.
Well,
like Hal Jordan, like the Green Lantern.
Yes.
Like Hank Hall is not
the same level.
Hawk and Dove aren't playing the same game.
No.
But yeah, I mean, he's a hero who had his own series and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a hero that existed that turned. Totally counts. Hank Hall, Hawk, he, first became Monarch and then fell even further, became extant. That's a big example. God, another example of a character. I mean, I don't think there is an example of this level magnitude
and like full continuity story.
Exactly, because that was the thing. Like I said, at the time, Hal wasn't possessed. This wasn't like a different universe.
This
Hal.
is just him.
It wasn't a different timeline. Hal. It was he made choices, and that was him living with them.
Yeah,
and like that's who he was. No, I mean, Hal is probably still to this day one of the biggest hero to villain heel turns in comics, like at all. Other ones have done it for like little stretches, but like really think about it. Who else even comes close to the Green Lantern, the greatest Green Lantern for like 30, 40 years?
Yeah.
Turned evil.
Fair.
Went bad. Like, I mean, that's, I actually can't think of anything else quite of that magnitude that would count.
No, definitely.
Because even the stories where the Spectre goes rogue, you're like, yeah, but I don't know. The Spectre feels different, right? Like, yeah, he fought with the JSA, but even in 0 Hour, it's only when almost all of the universe is gone that he's like, fine, I'll get off my ass and fight. Like, Spectre doesn't give a shit. And I think that's a pretty usual thing for him.
Yeah.
So it's not really like a heel turn in the same way,
No, I mean, even like Blackest Night, like that's a thing coming over them. That's not them.
Yeah, exactly. That's not them.
Yeah.
But, there's there's an arc where there's a future Flash that goes bad. But again, that's like a different timeline just to make the Flash evil now.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, it's just, Hal's the only one of that magnitude.
What is it with Lanterns going bad?
Yeah. I mean, Ollie in the book, he even says, it's true. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, even Hal.
Yeah.
It's actually a very heartbreaking story for Ollie. Ollie's got good shit in 0 Hour, considering that he's a guy with a bow and arrow and time is unraveling.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you think Hawkman's got it bad.
He couldn't be more out of his depth.
Yeah.
And the story does a really masterful job of working Ollie in. There's all these great kind of close-up shots of like his eyes and his disappointment and his rage and all that kind of stuff. It's a good fucking story for Arrow.
And then after that, he starts wielding a samurai and goes to Japan.
You mean like Hawkeye?
Yeah. It's his Ronin story, yeah.
I mean, when Ollie goes abroad, he just starts sleeping with eco-terrorists and stuff like that. He has a way better time than Hawkeye does.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's go to the next question from the Bat Fan Who Laughs. They ask, what differences were made after the Big Bang of the new DC universe? Was it as extreme as Flashpoint or more subtle? And does current continuity still feel the shockwave of 0 Hour?
Oh. So, Hal succeeds in wiping out the universe.
Yeah.
Parallax, rather, succeeds.
Yeah.
And he starts trying to build a new one. Wave Rider is trying to channel all of his chronal energy and amplify his chronal energy by having like Captain Atom and Superman and someone else, like Alpha Centauri, whoever is there that has like beam powers.
Sure.
The Ray, I think, is there too. They're all like trying to amp up his chronal power, and then he's transferring it to Damage.
Yeah.
Who is going to unleash the power in a targeted way. And essentially what happens is they build up so much power and Damage creates the Big Bang.
Jeez.
So they stop Parallax from remaking the universe that he controls, but they still have to make a universe.
Yeah.
So the Big Bang happens, and they sort of explain it as like, oh, it's settled into familiar patterns. Like, some things are different, but largely this is the way it was always going to be. You know, like,
sure.
They have to like reinsert themselves into the timeline and things like that's the like, and it's mostly the same.
Yeah, and beams together make the everything we already had.
Yeah. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
I-beam plus atom powers plus light
means
plus time equals universe.
Yeah, exactly as we have it now. With all the stuff in it the same way it is.
This is me like on TikTok trying to be like smart, like a scientist, like explaining things.
As long as you say it with confidence.
Everyone knows.
Yeah. As you were taught in school.
I mean, the short answer is no, it was not like Flashpoint. Flashpoint like reset things. Like the continuity was different. And yeah, for Batman and Green Lantern, a lot of stuff from pre-Flashpoint just somehow carried over, but that's just sloppy editorial. Like New 52 was like, this is a clean break. You can pick up these number ones, you can follow this full publishing line from the beginning, and you will have this continuity.
Sure.
And it's different. That's not what happened with 0 Hour. With 0 Hour, it's like they reference Crisis. They know a crisis happened, but they don't necessarily understand what the magnitude of it was.
Sure.
At the end of this, they're like, we know that a time crisis happened, but right in that moment where it's a blinding white light, now we're here and we're back and it's solved. And everyone goes, great, I guess we solved it. So some of the changes that happened out of 0 Hour. 0 Hour is where we get, in an earlier issue of 0 Hour, the JSA goes up against Extant. And Extant completely fucks them up. Like alters time for them so that they accelerate age. A bunch of them die.
Wow.
Like heart attacks. Like they die ugly.
Yikes.
And that kind of stuff. Wally, as the Flash, tries to stop the destruction of the universe and runs into it and disappears. And Jay has this bit where he's like, it happened to Barry during the crisis. And now Wally was like a grandson to me. He's like, how come we just keep getting fucking like old and living and they keep dying?
Yeah.
He rips the lightning bolt off his shirt. And he's like, I'm done fucking being the Flash.
Wow.
That's kind of like a big J moment there. Alan kind of gives up being Green Lantern, even though he's been sort of de-aged. He gives that up and he's like, Kyle, you're the only Green Lantern now.
Wow.
So that's a kind of big thing that comes of it. It's not necessarily a timeline change, but it's a big thing that comes out of it. Part of that JSA thing, too, is that Starman, Ted Knight, gets aged into senior citizenship, and we're introduced to both David Knight and Jack Knight. And that leads into the Starman series, where David takes over as Starman and then is killed, and then Jack has to take over as Starman. Wow. So that sets off that era's Starman and kind of kicks off that amazing series and things like that. That is all in 0 Hour.
Wow.
Fuck. I mean, yeah, obviously there's the change to the Hawks, which I guess you could say the lasting impact of it is that it just took a while for it to get like fixed, but
yeah.
I'm sure technically, continuity-wise, yes, we could probably still pinpoint the after effects of 0 Hour. but in a really tangible way, in a really meaningful way, this far out from that event, I'm not sure that's true.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I think we're so far out from it now that like those ripples are too small in the water to really perceive them.
And
now.
some of them have been undone.
And some things have been undone and redone, and yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. If you're listening to this, this might sound a little bit weird. It's because I'm jumping in with a very rare me adding something later little instance here. Normally, we do the show, we talk about stuff. I'm doing most of it off the dome. Sometimes I forget things. Sometimes I remember things weirdly or things like that. I usually just leave it because it's not that important. And also, all you folk, especially you Ducks Gordians, usually point out the stuff that I missed anyway. But we recorded this episode like a full week ago, and I've had too long to sit with this, and I know precisely the thing that I like omitted that was going to bug me forever. So I've inserted this into that conversation. But basically, the piece that I missed was really talking about the Legion of Superheroes. They 0 Hour has a huge effect on the Legion of Superheroes. So the reboot Legion, as it's called, was the Legion that we got basically after Crisis, and that Legion, that was where a bunch of them, like, instead of having silly names like Triplicate Girl, and she was Triad, or instead of being Lightning Lad, he was Livewire, stuff like that. Over the course of this story, their timeline gets erased. You even find out that the Time Trapper is a future version of Cosmic Boy himself, Rock Kryn. And ultimately, this reboot Legion fades from existence. They sort of have a long live the Legion moment where they're sure that something good will take their place. But the Legion of Superheroes has a whole piece of this, obviously, because they're in the future. So the wave of destruction hits them before it gets to the 20th century. But yeah, it actually it was the end essentially of the reboot Legion. When the Legion eventually comes back, it's like if not entirely, it's very similar to the pre-crisis version of them, who are like from an alternate timeline. So you get like Lightning Lad again and Triplicate Girl instead of Triad and things like that. And ultimately, if I'm not remembering this totally incorrectly, that all feeds in eventually to Legion of Three Worlds, or elements of this all feed into Legion of Three Worlds, which was a tie-in that happened during Final Crisis. So technically, if we're talking about lasting impact of 0 Hour, that stuff with the Legion is probably the stuff that makes it the furthest. Obviously the stuff with Hal. 0 Hour you can almost subtract from it because we already saw Parallax. We get his return to a hero turn in Final Night, and that if you were to like remove 0 Hour, yeah, maybe you miss him being like the big cosmic villain, but you still generally get the shape of an arc for Hal as Green Lantern, to Parallax, to sacrificing himself, to Spectre, to coming back. But the real lasting impact of 0 Hour, I guess, was just this another notch in the chain of weird Legion continuity things and stuff that eventually kind of comes back around that way. But at any rate, literally, this is 4 minutes worth of material, and I've been thinking about it for 6 days because I feel so ashamed that I didn't immediately seize an opportunity to just talk about the Legion a bunch and stuff like that. So I'll let you get back to the proper episode, what we actually recorded, but I had to throw that in there. I was kicking myself that I didn't bring up Time Trapper, as that Rock Kryn was Time Trapper, that I didn't bring up the sort of pocket dimension piece, that I didn't bring up the end of the reboot Legion, all sorts of things that happened during 0 Hour. But at any rate, that's that. You get to go back to the main episode now, and I'm going to go to sleep.
All right. Let's go to the last question from Refrigerator Ninja, who asks, reading 0 Hour and everyone's favorite Guy Gardner
I guess.
finds out he is descended from the Voldarians. Could you explain who the Voldarians are and how they can shapeshift? This is the first time I've heard of them.
Yeah. After Guy Gardner isn't a Green Lantern anymore
Yeah.
because of Parallax and the dissolution of the core and all of these kind of things. He gets this armor that I think at first was gold, but then by the time we get to 0 Hour, he's in this like red kind of alien armor, and I think he's going by Warrior at this point. Yeah, he is. They call him Warrior a couple of times. But the armor, he can like, at one point he like thinks of like needing a gun, and the armor like shifts and makes the gun.
Yeah.
And so it can kind of like manifest the things he's thinking of, like weapons and things and stuff like that. And it's like an alien armor, and the ultimate piece of it at the end of 0 Hour, he doesn't have the armor. He just has these like sort of tribal like purple and red tattoos all over him.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, you'll learn that he has Vuldarian DNA. So he actually doesn't, by the end, I think he doesn't need the armor to manifest things, that he can do the shape-shifting like thing. I think it hurts him though.
Oh.
Is the thing. I think
Like a Wolverine situation?
Well, yeah. I mean, I would say more grotesque than Wolverine.
Yeah. Wow.
Wolverine's only dealing with like knives going in and out of his hand. Like this is like, oh, I need a gun, and his whole arm goes like, like, you know what I mean?
Jesus.
Like splorch kind of makes a thing, you know? It's sort of weird, kind of fucked up thing. And but the Vuldarian thing is that he's exposed to like a blast or something, and it activates this alien DNA that's in him, and you learn that DNA was like entered into his like bloodline, his lineage, like thousands of years earlier or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the Vuldarian DNA is in there for a long time, dormant. You don't know anything about it, and then this thing activates it, and it gives him these power. It was basically like, we got to find some fucking way to make this guy anything without a ring.
Yeah.
And that was kind of that was kind of the thing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know that the Vuldarians ever really come up that much outside of
this
the
story.
Guy Gardner thing. Outside of the context of Guy Gardner and his powers. I don't know that I can think of, at least in recent memory, a story I've read or gone back and read or revisited, or that mentions the Vuldarians that isn't specifically implicated in
Like this.
Guy having those abilities or that connection.
Weird.
Yeah. You know, like they're not like the Gordanians or like some of these other kind of big aliens of DC. You know?
The Gordanians all have mustaches. The Commissioner Gordanians.
Oh, I was going to say the Gordanians.
Oh. They all have cancer?
Well, no. It was in Bob Cager
Nice.
where I doxed the constellation.
Proud of that one.
Scored themselves one dox at a time.
So that was the last question.
Last night in Toronto.
Which means we're on to our play our favorite game. Can you guess the character based on someone who's not read comic books can describe that character to us?
Sure.
If you don't know how this works, I send a photo of a DC character to my wife. She does not read comic books, nor does she care for them, and she sends back 4 clues describing what she sees. Could be any number of photos that I use. Are you ready to play?
I'm just going to let that one go. See that? It just rolls off my back.
Yeah, it does.
Famously easygoing.
Yeah, notorious.
I'm not like super keen on rules.
Yeah. You don't love like very precise systems and
No. What interest would I have in that?
yeah, the lore behind it. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, you're literally doing a job at work right now where you're analyzing data and then putting it into like
Oh,
And you're like, this is the great. And everyone in the office
I'm
is
telling
just
a story with numbers.
like, everyone in the office is just like, what is wrong with you?
I like it.
I know. It's crazy. I'm glad you do. It helps me out a lot. But good Lord. Are you ready?
Sure.
So, first of the 4 clues.
Okay.
Flashy dresser.
Flashy dresser.
Mm-hmm.
Rainbow Raider.
No. No.
I'm going to say it. The Flash.
No.
Because that would make me angry.
That'd be very funny.
Flashy dresser. Mr. Nebula.
No.
Okay. Next clue.
Tuxedo Mask meets Jimmy Olsen.
So he's like a ginge in a suit. He's
I don't know.
Tuxedo Mask and Jimmy Olsen. Okay, who wears a tuxedo? We got Zatara,
No.
Zatanna,
No.
Zachary Zatara.
No.
Good, that family's out of
Any more Z's?
there. Zeds.
No.
I mean, that's canon for this country.
It's the lore of this
It's the lore of this country.
It's the current continuity.
The current continuity. It's pronounced Zed.
I did have that t-shirt when I was a kid. The one that was the I Am Canadian shirt.
Oh, like after the beer commercial?
Yeah. Where they had the full speech. And then when we went to...
God, what a legendary thing. Do you remember just at Just for Laughs when just William Shatner just went up and did a version of that, but it was about like being on Star Trek?
Yes.
That's how big that commercial was.
It's crazy.
That they got William Shatner at Just for Laughs to parody the commercial.
Crazy. I wore that to Florida, that t-shirt, into Disneyland.
Yeah.
Disney World, with like a red hat on, but like it was a fitted red cap.
Back when you could go to Florida with a red hat on.
Well, yeah. Fair. Yeah, it was Limp Bizkit time, so it was a fitted red hat. You know?
Right. Next clue.
Always sees the big picture.
Big picture. So he's either got lots of eyes or he has like a scope or a lens or something. Monocle.
No.
Mattermaster? Does Mattermaster have a weird
No.
thing like that?
No.
Tuxedo Mask meets Jimmy Olsen is an interesting one here. Okay. Tuxedo Mask meets Jimmy Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
Flashy dresser.
Mm-hmm.
And always sees the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Last clue.
Last clue. Mr. Paparazzi.
So it's definitely a camera thing. I mean, is this like a bigger character? Or is this like Photo Man or like some shit like that, like from the Silver Age?
They've existed. It's not like a super well-known character. They showed up in 1954 for the first time, but they've also like been in many different like they've shown up.
Right.
There's definitely like a animated version of them at some point.
Oh, really?
Yeah. From I'll even give you another hint. They've been in a more modern Batman series.
Probably like Brave and the Bold or something if they're silly like this, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, let's just throw types of names out. The photographer.
No.
Mr. Photograph.
No.
Cameraman.
No.
Lens boy.
No.
Mr. Optics.
No.
Okay. Oh, it's not Film Freak, is it?
No.
Is there like Celluloid Man or
No.
hang on. Fuck. It's time to die, SLR.
No.
That's what he might say.
Yeah.
Okay. It's definitely camera related, but he's got to be fancy looking. Tuxedo mask thing. Fuck. I mean, the Jimmy Olsen thing is the camera, so I could discount Gingy stuff. We already have the camera.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a tux or just a very fancy looking suit. He's a flashy. Well, but is that flashy or is that fancy? So is he wearing like a suit, but it's also not like that's going to fucking help me come up with his name. Camera boy, camera lad,
No.
camera lass,
No.
camera woman,
No.
cammy cam,
No.
cam girls in your area.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's oh, sorry. I was looking at an ad.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So you're on my phone. You won't last 40 seconds reading this comic. 40 minutes, Jesus.
Gee,
I hope not.
No, I won't.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you want to see the photo? No,
Sure,
I don't know if that'll help.
It
but-
probably won't, but I would like to. Oh yeah, he is in Brave and the Bold. Yeah. He's got like, what I don't know. What is his?
You got so fucking close.
Was I? Yeah, like,
You got like so close,
yeah,
Mr. Camera.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Like you were like, oh, I said everything but that. You're like cameraman, Mr. Optic, and I'm like so close.
Yeah, figures. Yeah, fair enough.
Oh my God,
Fair enough.
Just from sheer trying, I was like, "Who's gonna get this?"
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, Jessica also provided another one clue, which was loves a lady that can manually adjust their f-stop.
Oh, Jesus.
I was like,
Oh, a flashy dresser. I just got it.
Yeah.
Camera, yeah. Because he's got a camera for it.
always seals the big picture. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
So funny.
Well, close.
So close.
Close. Pretty close.
Did any of you residents get that?
The Brave and the Bold one
Yeah.
may have been the thing that tipped it over.
Yeah.
Did any of you actually get it?
Yeah, for sure. Or are you lying like every other time you said you did?
Yeah.
Because if the doctor didn't get it,
I mean, what chance could you mortals?
Godter DC.
Yeah. That's my final form.
Oh my God.
That's my final
Oh
form.
no. Maybe you want to let us know, or you want to send us a question for next week's
I don't think you
episode.
do. I don't even know if the episode's going to be
I
that
feel
good.
like maybe you want to ask a question about Guy Gardner, which is next week's episode. We've already gotten a ton of questions in, especially from like other people who have never even like commented before.
Yes, and that is awesome.
Yeah.
Keep sending those questions. Keep in mind.
You won't answer
I'm
them.
not going to answer. Yes, next week, as per the honor code of the Fanagar Tournament of Pandering, we will have an episode about Guy Gardner.
Lady Green Thumb,
Yeah.
Guy Gardner. You can reach out to us through our Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast.
Twitter,
At Dr. DC.
our Instagram,
Dr. DC Podcast.
through our email,
DrDCPodcast@gmail.com.
on our subreddit.
r/Dr_DC.
You can also give us a phone call.
208-917-3238.
That's 208-917-DCEU
If you're nasty.
Of course, you can go and listen to more episodes on our website.
DrDCPodcast.com or .ca.
Of course, we are on all of the platforms, but one that really matters is the place where we get reviews.
iTunes, baby.
Yeah, we'll take
Or
them
Apple
everywhere.
Podcasts. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
I'm old.
I know. It still says iTunes on here, but we'll take them anywhere. We get notifications when they're through Apple
We'll take it
Podcasts.
anywhere.
Yeah, I both holes. I've already said it twice today.
Take it anywhere.
Yeah, anytime,
Face,
anywhere.
mouth, in the alley.
Face, mouth, as if those are two separate ways.
They're the way I do it.
Oh my! in the big alley in the sky, yeah, behind the theater.
In the big crime alley in the sky.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, yeah, we'll take them anywhere else, but you just got to take photos.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, kind of, honestly. Yeah. If you give us reviews somewhere else, take a screenshot and send it to us so we can see that you did it.
Yeah, Pixar didn't happen.
Yeah, that's right.
Of course, we also like receiving, and we get it we've been getting them every once in a while. We love getting some physical mails.
Yeah. 301 Hogue Street, Hoge, Whitehorse, Yukon.
Y1A 1V8.
And you can address that to either Richard Eden, in which case it will only go to Richard and I'll never see it. Or you can send it to Reed Vanier,
and I'll get it,
and I will share the spoils, and share the love of comics and stuff.
It's how this new power dynamic
because
works.
Again, I'm not the bad guy.
I mean, we all know that he is.
You know how good guys famously keep saying they're not the bad guy.
Yeah. I'm doing the right thing from my perspective.
Yeah. The Jedi are evil.
From my new perspective.
Yeah. I'm Paradox.
Yeah. Why?
Oh, no, that's a different character. Parallax. Fuck. Docalax? That sounds like a laxative.
I was going to say, I'm like, yeah.
That sounds like I'm shitting myself.
Still something that you probably engage with, but a different thing.
Oh, I don't need that to do that.
You're not Gabers where you're only taking loose shits.
Not only.
Yeah. There's a scale.
I'd say it alternates.
Yeah.
From like hard like marble
to
just like your thumb in the end of a hose.
Oh no, explosive. If you want more content just like this.
Yeah,
that's the place where you're going to get it is on our Patreon.
That's right, patreon.com/DrDC.
We get fucking extra episodes every single week. We have a $5, $7 tier, and even a $1 tier, even if you just want to hang out on our Docscord.
Exactly. The Docscord, our fun Discord community. There's all sorts of fun stuff happening there. Well, no, it's definitely not ours. Cue meme with the astronaut behind me.
Yeah.
Never was.
Yeah, well, there he is. Yeah. But yeah, you get an extra video episode with prescribed readings. What is the doctor actually currently reading? What are all of his polls right now? What's going through his stories?
Yeah, what am I pulling right now?
Yeah, watch the video. So dry sounding.
Yeah.
It just sounds painful dry.
Oh, it's not painful.
Just dry.
Just dry.
Very dry. Do you have dry and itchy jerk-offs?
Is this an ad?
Yeah.
Why did you say that like it's like Gold Bond commercial?
It's a Ben Stein, when he used to do the dry and itchy eyes.
That's right.
Do you
Sorry,
have dry
I thought you were doing like
itchy?
Gold Bond medicated foot powder.
Oh, I mean, that's how it comes out of you.
Cock powder.
Yeah.
Gold Bond medicated cock powder.
Good
At
Lord.
any rate, sign up for the Patreon.
Yeah.
Help support us.
With
More of this good stuff.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. Speaking of more of this good stuff, even better stuff on our other podcast.
I mean, it's the other podcast, but check out Ghost Facers, a Supernatural rewatch on the other feed. That's where we go through every single episode of CW Supernatural. We talk monster lore. We talk behind the scenes stuff. It's a ton of fun over there.
Yeah.
There's lots of lore, baby.
Yes. That is it for this week.
We'll see you next week from Joy Gardner.
Main feed. Ciao, ciao.
Adios.
All the superheroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.